Right. 3.4. They say calculate the amount owing on the loan on 30 June 2014. Calculate the amount owing on the loan on 30 June 2014. The interest rate on the existing loan from Mangwe Bank is 18% per annum. The repayment on the loan is due at the beginning of each month. Right. The repayment on the loan is due at the beginning of the... What do we have here? We have been told the rate of interest. What do we have to calculate? We must calculate the amount owing, which is the balance on 30 June. Right. What do we need? We simply need the interest rate. We must go and check our, not the interest rate, the amount of interest that we paid for June. How much interest did we pay in June? Interest on loan, we paid an amount of 450. Interest on loan, we paid interest on loan is equals to 450. The interest rate we've been told is 18%. Now, in order to do that calculation, you are going to say this 450 is a monthly payment. Therefore, we must first convert it into a yearly payment. Then you will say 450 multiplied by 12 is give us 5,400. If it was for the year, it will be 5,400. And then we know that this is 18%. Therefore, in order to get the amount that was owed, we say multiply by 100 over 18. Then we say multiply by 100 divide by 18. It tells us that the interest, the amount that was owed was 30,000 rand. And then how do we prove that? How do we prove that we are correct? Proof. Our proof is this. We take the 30,000 over 100, we multiply by 18 over 100, we multiply by 1 over 12. It must give us the 450. Let's check whether it gives us that. 30,000 multiply by 18 divided by 100 divide by 12. It gives us 450, which means our solution was correct. Which means our solution was correct. And then we go to the next question. Marcos Swilos is thinking of purchasing the business premises rather than renting it. Provide two separate advantages and two separate disadvantages of this option. Note the business has no financial investment. That statement is important. Note that the business has no financial investment. Now, in order to answer this question, even though it is not necessary, you must go first and check your rent expense. Do they give us? As you can see, we are paying a rent expense of 11 months each year. So, obviously, the first advantage, the It is the same as any other person. The question actually says, what is the advantages and disadvantages of buying property versus renting? It also applies to you as an individual. Is it preferable to rent than to buy? Now, the advantages of this is that if he buys, he will save on rent expense. Okay? He will save on rent expense, which means he will save the 11,000 every month. The other advantage, what could be the other advantage? Let me think. The other advantage could be capital gains. Now, let me explain what I mean by this. We know that the value of the land and buildings do not depreciate, but it appreciates. Therefore, it is a form of investment. It is an investment because the value of land and buildings will increase over time. Now, even yourself, you know, if you buy a house now, in 10 years' time, that house will be worth more than the price that you paid 10 years ago. The other advantage is that you can make renovations to the building. You can make renovations or extensions to the buildings. You don't have to go and ask permission from the owner of the business, for owner of the buildings. These are your buildings. You can do as you please. You know. Now, what might be the disadvantages? What might be the disadvantages? What are the disadvantages? What might be the disadvantages? The disadvantages of buying property. Remember what we said. Ne? We said the business has no financial investments. Which means what? Which means you must go and get a loan to finance the purchase. So, one, you have to obtain a loan. You have to obtain a loan, and this loan, it goes and pay interest on the loan as well. Huh? You have to obtain a loan as well as pay interest on the loan. And you know the loan repayments are also going to put pressure on your cash flow. The loan repayments will also put pressure on your cash flow. That is a serious disadvantage. Secondly, what is the other disadvantage? The other disadvantage is now you are responsible. You are now responsible for repairs and maintenance of the building. You have to maintain it because now you own the building. It is your responsibility to maintain and to make repairs to the business when there are structural damages to the business. I think this one is straight and forward. And the other disadvantage is that now you are liable to pay rates to the municipality. What are rates? Rates is a form of tax based on the value of property. just for interest sake, on the value of property. So now you must pay rates to the municipality on that property. That is another disadvantage. So this question is very simple. I don't see anyone losing marks if such a question may appear, because it is actually common sense, right? It's common sense that you need to apply there.